Was this a ghost? Was this an angel? Was this a time traveler? We don't know. But this dates back to, I think 40 years ago. My sister once lived on an island in the middle of the Mississippi River. The island was 5 miles across and 8 miles long, and it was right in the middle of the Mississippi River, and the river was big on both sides of the island. We had to take a ferry when I went to go visit her once, and then the ferry would take us to the other side, and we had to get on this tractor and ride on a trailer pulled by a tractor to get to this shack, and it was for a hunting lodge, and there was this really large facility next to the shack where you could house like maybe 100 people to do a cookout or something. So they were caretakers of this gigantic warehouse shack place, and they were hunters that they would go around on the island because they had wild pigs and stuff out there. This island was a big hub of activity during the Civil War, and there was a lot of fighting there. So a place with definite history, a lot of bloodshed there during the Civil War. One evening, when my sister and her husband were there, she was cooking in the kitchen, and he was in the living room sitting on the couch cleaning his weapon. So on this 5 mile by 8 mile island, there were only 3 people there. My sister and her husband, who lived in the shack on the north side of the island, and then 8 miles away, there was a guy that lived on the other side of the island. So 3 people on this island. Needless to say, my sister and her husband did not get any visitors, ever. So hearing a knock at the door or seeing the front door open is something that didn't happen. One evening, when they were just minding their own business, and James was there cleaning his weapon, he hears a noise, he suddenly looks up, and there's a guy walking through the front door. The door is shut behind him. This guy walks right in the middle of the living room. He's wearing some kind of uniform, and it's very pristine, very clean. He remembered seeing his boots were shiny, like they were spit polished. This guy was immaculate, had blonde hair, blue eyes, not a speck of dirt or mud on him or on his shoes, which was odd because this is Mississippi and this was the rainy season in the middle of the wintertime. And this guy, the way he acted when he walked in, this is what's weird. He walked in, he appeared to be fully conscious of his environment. The guy walked in and he stopped. He looked around and he appeared to realize that he was in the wrong place or the wrong time or the wrong something. Everything was wrong. And he appeared to be embarrassed. And finally he squared his eyes on James and he waved with this kind of goofy look on his face. Turned around, walked over to the door, opened it, walked out, shut the door. Done. James was ghost white. He had no idea who the guy was. He had no idea how the guy walked through the front door. My sister was working in the kitchen cleaning or cooking something. She poked her head around the corner just in time to see the guy's pants leg pass through the door and the door shut. She had a complete meltdown. My sister, she freaked out. She was trying to gasp. She couldn't breathe. James leaped off the couch. Gun parts spewed all over the floor. He ran over to the door, tried to open it, and there was a dog pile on the outside of the door. All the dogs were laying pressed up against the door for warmth. And he had to shove this door open to get it open. So how that guy just casually opened it and shut it. And he looked around. It was pitch black. It was snowing. It's wet everywhere. And there's thick mud on the ground. Mississippi mud. There's even a beer named after Mississippi mud. It's famous for being incredibly thick and full of clay, and you can't just really walk around in it that well. And you're certainly not going to walk in it without getting any of that mud on your boots or your shoes. this guy's shoes, he remembered, were immaculate. So it's like this guy, wherever he came from, it wasn't walking around out there. My sister was screaming and freaking out, and knowing that, if you understand who my sister is, and she's a very fearless person to the point of not being rational, and she's confronted people in very dangerous situations without even thinking right. But on this occasion, with reality taking a back seat and having this experience so like blatantly in your face, this was a backstage pass to the backside of the universe or something, because this guy, whoever he was, he was rational. He looked like a real flesh and blood human being, but he looked like there was some kind of cosmic mistake. Like maybe he was an angel in disguise as a Civil War soldier coming down to change the course of the war on that island, and they set the coordinates on the time wrong. And he walked into the room and realized, uh-oh, wrong place, wrong time, exit stage left, turned around and walked out. He did not act like a ghost. He was not absorbed with whatever absorbed him in life, like a mother looking for her kid or the reenactment of a murder or anything like that. He wouldn't fit what you'd call a demon. He didn't seem like he was trying to deceive anybody or relay some kind of message contrary to common sense or the Bible or anything. Everything about him seemed like a normal guy except for everything around the situation. He was not normal. And that is my sister's account of the Twilight Zone that she experienced while living on an island in the middle of the Mississippi.